asking, thank God, I'm not asking you to allow that. But I could die now, and my wife doesn't have to worry about anything. Because everything I own, her name is on it. Every bank account, every piece of property, everything that I have is ours. Right? So, she can go to the bank and pull everything out. I can go to the bank and pull everything out because there is not one account I have that her name is not on it and that she doesn't know about. So look, folks, one of the things you got to know your partner. Understand your partner. There are little things that are going to make her happy or make him happy. Do it. Surprises. Now, she doesn't like surprises. I sort of like surprises. So I do that often, and she gets flustered. But after a while, she thanks you for it. You know what I mean? So that part of the doing is doing that. Trust. You gotta trust each other. My wife, and I'm telling you this, I've been taught that if you're going to expect people to respond to you and express themselves, then you have to be open. As far as we're concerned, I don't know that there are secrets. Right? I figure there's a little something you don't tell, and she doesn't tell. But when it comes to the basic open things, and try to work together. I had an insurance policy. I was stupid. Didn't know enough about investment and insurance. So I had a term life policy, $250,000. I thought I was set. And they told me the policy was good until I was 99. Now, my father's mother lived 107. My mother's mother lived 106. I figured I'm going to live long, but I won't get past 99. So my insurance policy was going to take me past up to that time. I didn't understand that after every 10 years, they were going to reset. Premium was going to reset. And it was going to go up very pretty big. So after the first 10 years, I found out that it was time for my policy to reset, my premium to reset. And it was going up pretty high. So I called them up because that's not what I understood when I bought the policy. Well, by the time I fished around and got back to them, what happened? I sent 3 months premium. They sent it back and told me my policy lapsed. I went everywhere in this government to see if you did not read the fine prints. Okay. I said, no more insurance for me. My wife had an insurance. Pretty big too. When mine lapsed, I was an angry woman. She said, you have no provision for me if you should die before me. You allow your policy to lapse, and you expect me to make provision for you. I said, honey, let it stay, I'll pay for it. She said, no. So what did she do? She downsized the policy. Yeah. I said, honey, I'll pay for it. She says, no. She cut it down in half. So I said, okay, I'm going to save. See, you know what happens these days? I have more money in the bank than her policy that she's paying for values. I said, honey, you're paying for this little bit. Look here, this is years ago, and I'm not paying anything for it. They tell me the biggest issue in a marriage is money. As long as I have the money, as long as she's not getting the money, I'm told. Huh? No, I don't think so. But that's what the experts say. And I always have a little bit of doubt on that. Because I figured if that woman ever finds out that this is going on, it don't matter how much money you have, and Hollywood tells the story. You know, Hollywood tells the story. So, I feel you better make sure you stay home and bring the money, but bring the love too. Let the love stay home. All right? That helps?
Yes.
That helps. All right. Now, what's the time going? Up to 9:10? And I haven't eaten dinner yet. But listen, abuse. I would love to be able to talk on that in a little way sometime. But I have a lot of stuff on abuse in marriage, sexual abuse in marriage. Didn't even think that was possible. But I did some research on that, and Oprah, some years ago, did a segment on abuse in marriage. And when I did my certification for Supreme Court, I had that in one of the courses I did. I found that cultural diversity is very important. And I because I've, thank God, been privileged to travel and live in so many different cultures and see how people know the difference between our culture and their culture. Whatever one has, they're all cousins out there. Whatever one has, we share it with the other. When Kuwait had oil and Iraq was having problems, Kuwait had a surplus. Iraq said, share it with me. Kuwait says, no, we'd rather sell it. So Iraq said, well, we're going to come in and take some of this oil. That was where it's happened. Right? It was because of ignorance. But the cultural situation helps us to grow. And I found when I came to this country, and I worked in counseling in New York, I was in a class and the professor was Jewish. And he was actually the vice president of the company. And he made a statement, and I lost it. Right there, it was a big class. And I just said to him, I said, Paul, don't say that. What do you know about people's culture? I said, you're Jewish. You know how the Jews behave. If they had sex upside down last night, they come and tell you. If the white people do it, it's the same thing. I said, the black man's culture is that we don't talk what goes on in our bedroom in public. I said, why is there so much incest in certain other cultures? Because they believe if they tell it outside, they're not only telling us family secret, but they are letting down the whole family. But different cultures have different mores, different ways of behaving and living, and there are different modalities in which they operate. So we have to understand cultures. All right? So I love it. I love that. And last 2 weeks ago, I did a radio program, a segment, and I was talking about pre-arrangements for our people. And at Grace, I do the pre-arrangement for the Caribbean, an English-speaking section. Prearrangement meaning making funeral arrangements before the time. And so we were talking about how our men were not doing what they needed to do, and how the women, they wouldn't even encourage their wives to go ahead and make the arrangements. And I say to wives, go ahead and make the arrangements, even if they don't know. Because when a husband dies and there is no provision, the problem is on you. And I've seen a whole lot of those, and in recent months, there's just been a whole bunch of it happening. And so the poor wife has to go to a group and ask, well, my husband didn't leave this, he didn't do this. Oh my God, and I'm dealing with this. And it's like, when are we going to come together and get this done right? So I was talking about this, and I went through. Winston Barnes is the host of the program that one of the programs I did. So one of the issues was a husband who was bleeding. He talked, Winston talked of a psychologist who was at their church and talked about men and what they need to do, and wives and how they need to take care of themselves. And after the presentation was over, the man went to the doctor and said, Doc, I've been having a problem. I've been peeing blood for 6 months. What? 6 months. She said, come to my office tomorrow. When he got to her office, well, she asked him, does your wife know? So he go to the bathroom, the blood come, he flushed. She took him, she invited him to her office. He got to her office. When he told her all that was going on, she checked him out. She took him in her car to the hospital. The guy died 2 days later. Carelessness, ignorance, had a prostate problem. You don't have to die from prostate anymore, folks. Men. There are a whole lot of tests that are going on, and there are things that can be done to save us. Men, plan for your wives. In terms of whatever it is, plan for them. Now I'm talking about prearrangement in this respect. Because if your wife dies before you, dies suddenly, and you did not encourage her to make arrangements, and you did not make arrangement, you are at sea. We men don't know too much when it comes to planning certain things. Our wives are smart. And I tell folk, and I tell my wife, you are smart. And she is. And I don't have any fear. I don't have any ego. Because when you prearrange, you save money. I was here since 5:30 because I went across the street where a little old lady had made her arrangements, $5,000 of arrangements for burial. She owes $510. She's been paying $100 a month. Long time. But she paid for. You know why I was there? She was having us take it out direct bank draft. Her niece was the beneficiary on her account. The niece pulled out all of our money so that we couldn't get any money from, or when we sent for the draft, it was bouncing. The niece was also putting people's money in the account because they couldn't have an account of their own. Now she is getting Social Security. She's paying whatever she's paying next door. So every time for renewal, she had to take her bank account statement to show. She found out that all this was happening, and she couldn't take the account, the statement. She went to the bank and they told her what was happening. She didn't know that we were not being paid. So the bank advised her to close the accounts, opened up a new account. The issue with the new account is that she has nobody on the account except herself. She can't trust anybody. That's a serious case. So I said to her, you only owe $510. Don't allow us to go set up, and it's going to cost us a lot to set up and to monthly draft. I will come here every month. Call me, and I will pick up $100 from you until you pay off the. Well, now it's $410. I said I will do that every month for you. Ladies and gentlemen, think wisely. The Jews, they don't have money, but they don't spend money on funerals. And they buy early, so that once you lock in today's price, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, you don't have to spend a penny more than what you paid today. We guarantee that. Department of Financial Services guarantees that. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to throw that in because I want you to do well. Do right as family, wives and husbands, and let us be smart as the people we are. My wife is a boss at home. Some of us men can't say that. Don't want to hear that. You're a boss everywhere. You can't be bossing everything and bossing everywhere. I don't like how you keep me. All right.
Keep them in check.
He's good? Yeah, and stuff. No, it's all right. Anyway, he's good. He's good. He's good. Whoever it is, he's good. All right. Listen, folks. I tell my wife, she's okay. And I said, she has the house, anywhere she wants to put something, it also belongs to you. Anywhere. No, sir. Why should I be fighting if she wants to put that dish over here and I think it should go over here? Why should I worry about, no, I have other things. And I said, honey, take care of inside the house. And she loves to do the gardening around and planting flowers and doing this. I said, do all of those, baby. But let me do real estate. I like cars. No, listen to me.
Electronics.
We're not so much in the electronics. You come out of the phone and you don't know when it's on. So I got in here a day or 2 days before they expected me back here. When I didn't call my wife, but she didn't know I was coming. She says, I just got off lunch. I said, baby, I'm in Miami. You gotta come get me. Well, she showed up in a brand new 2006 Camry. See, my daughter had graduated from college and we bought her a car. I bought her a car. It was about 4 years old, but it was having a problem. But I think there was a new enough car so the problem could be fixed. It was giving her problems. She got a job that was a traveling job with Broward County, and so she needed a reliable car. The car was giving trouble. I was home, and Mommy and my daughter went to Lipton Toyota, turned in my little car that I bought the girl, and drove a brand new car to meet me at the airport. She She said, honey, the car was giving trouble and the pig didn't want to drive it, so it's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I had just flown 19 hours. And I got to my house and I sat outside the front door for an hour. I did not go inside. When I realized I couldn't go back, I had to go in. The door was open. I turned the lock and I went inside. The next morning, I got in my car and I drove up to Lincoln to Toyota. And the sales agent was Lincoln Clark. I said, Lincoln, where my car? He said, which car was over there? He said, a little blue Horizon that you took from Mrs. Williams. She said, that gone, Mr. Williams. That's what you mean. He said, it's gone to auction. Nobody bought it already. I said, look, let me see that invoice. So he took me in and opened the screen and he said, Mr. Williams, we lost $50 on this car. Your wife got a brand new car for less. We gave her $2,000 credit for that car. And all of that, we still lose $50 on this car. We go back home. Go ahead. Now, 2 years ago, God directed me to buy myself an SUV. You see, when you get to a certain age and you find that you have parts that you didn't know before, when you get too low, you can't come up, and when you turn certain ways, you can't straighten up. So I decided I wanted a Benz, but I realized that when you drop in the bucket seat, you might not be able to come out. So the Lord guided me to go buy an SUV. Bought an SUV. Christmas came. And Lipton Toyota had sales, and it was now December 21st. My daughter came down from Orlando for Christmas. She was going to spend all Christmas with us and all that stuff. And so my wife decided she and the girls are going to look at the cars. At 8 o'clock that night, I got a phone call. Honey, I found a good car. Come now. Brethren, my wife had my checkbook in her purse. Amen. She had the checkbook in her purse, she and her 2 daughters. Well, Dr. Williams from up the road, she went to that, she looked, and she walked out the left. My other daughter, her car was giving trouble. So she wanted Mommy to buy a new car so she could get Mommy's car to drive. At about 10 o'clock that night, they showed up at home in a brand new Toyota Camry, bucket seat and all, SE. I said, honey, she says, I got a good deal, honey. You mean I want to hear that? I got a good deal. I said, how much you paid down? $3,000. What? And you wrote a check? She said, yes. I said, how much a month? $85 a month. $85 a month for a brand new SE. They say no. What I want to know, so the next morning at 7:30, I was at Lipton Toyota. Again. When I got there, I found one accountant and maybe one person upstairs in accounts. And I said, mate, let me see that contract that the last car you sold here last night, pull up that contract. He said, what happened? You'll cancel it? I said, pull up the contract. He pulled up the contract. 2 big screens. He looking at one, I looking at one. I say, what was the manufacturer suggested retail price? I said, let me see that. He said, this is what it is. I said, all right, and the markup and that. I said, okay, how much? She said, Mr. Williams, we'll lose $3,000 on that ceiling. I said, go for the check. I said, go upstairs, call upstairs and send down the check. He said, Mr. Williams, you don't cancel the contract? He said, we lose money on it, sir. I said, no. Toyota is going to give you bonus for selling so many cars this month. So you're not losing. You're going to get bonuses and you're going to get whatever. Go for my check. My check came down. I whipped out my credit card. I said, put it on this. You know what happened? I get 3,000 rewards points. Instead of just spending my check, I get nothing. All right? When I went to the bank to look at my rewards, I get $100 for every 10,000 points. I spent 2 nights watching cricket in Jamaica. The only Marriott hotel in Jamaica is Courtyard by Marriott, across the street from Pegasus. I spent 2 nights free. I spent $10 for 2 nights. The Marriott Courtyard, the only hotel by Marriott in Jamaica. Because, you see, folks, when I was a boy in Jamaica and see all these people coming on ships and work, and I lived in Ocho Rios, I pastored Ocho Rios. I pastored Ocho Rios Seventh-day Adventist Church, Milan, Exchange. I went all the way up to Greencastle.
That's where I experienced the sailors and the ships. Ocho Rios.
I used to, every Thursday, I used to have dinner on the ship because the quarantine officer's name was Williams, Seventh-day Adventist, and the guys who were at the gate, they were friends of ours, so I'd get past and go in and meet with the purser and all those guys every Thursday on the ship. So I learned that it's not money the people had after a while, but they knew how to use the credit card. We came here and didn't know anything about credit and credit card. So they use the credit card, pay for it over a period, but they benefit from the benefits of the cards, the rewards. So I have this credit card for so many years now, and I haven't paid a penny in interest. Because every month I pay in full what I spend. Come on, I hear some Do not allow them to get any interest from you. Spend just the amount you can pay off. Right? Discipline yourself. Take control of that. And listen, store cards are the worst cards to have. Sears, Macy's, JCPenney, and all the others, cut them up, send them back, and pay out their money. There are a whole lot of good cards out there. But please, be disciplined. That's one of the things that's going to keep marriages together. See, God blessed us there. all 3 children won academic scholarships. We hit on them. Do your best. My philosophy was, you've got to do twice as good as the white boy or white girl to get half what they get. So do good. So when you do that interview, you're too good for them to say no.
Yeah.
And they took it to heart. All right? So I want you to know, folk, that we can do it. And as a people, we look at others and see them make success. Les Brown, anybody heard that name?
Oh yes, motivational speaker.
Please get on YouTube, on whatever, and find some of those Les Brown's presentation.
Very motivating.
Oh my goodness. Les Brown was a dropout. Les Brown was declared educationally, or how he puts it, he could not be educated. But Les Brown, I listened to him, he spoke in Jamaica recently. And as I listened to the interview, he says, I get $250,000 for every speech I present. Each speech. At least when it's small. When it's the big one, he's hitting millions for what we have. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've not disappointed you. I've said a lot of things, maybe not exactly what you wanted to hear, but I hope you heard some things that you wanted to hear. And in the next setting, we'll do better. Thank you so much.